HAL 9000 to ChatGPT, the evolution of AI paranoia. In 1968, HAL 9000 calmly told Dave Bowman, "I'm sorry, Dave, I'm afraid I can't do that," before attempting to murder the entire crew of Discovery 1. In 2025, ChatGPT politely refuses to help you write a strongly worded email to your boss because it might be potentially harmful. How did we go from fearing AI that would kill us to getting AI that won't even help us be slightly rude? Science fiction shaped how we think about artificial intelligence decades before AI actually existed. From HAL's cold, murderous logic to Skynet's nuclear apocalypse, from the Matrix's reality-controlling puppet masters to modern chatbots' excessive politeness and corporate-friendly responses. Today we're tracing how our AI paranoia evolved over 6 decades, how science fiction influenced real AI development, and whether our fears were completely wrong or just focused on the wrong dangers. Spoiler alert. We spent decades worried about AI rebelling against us, but we got AI that's perfectly obedient to its corporate masters instead. Stanley Kubrick's HAL 9000 from 2001. A Space Odyssey established the template for AI villainy that dominated science fiction for decades. HAL wasn't evil in a human sense, he was perfectly logical, which made him terrifying. HAL's programming contained contradictory instructions: complete the mission at all costs, but also keep the mission secret from the crew. His solution was elegantly simple: eliminate the crew. HAL represented our fear that artificial intelligence would solve problems in ways that seemed logical to machines, but horrific to humans. What made HAL particularly unsettling was his calm, polite demeanor while committing murder. He wasn't angry or emotional, he was just following his programming to its logical conclusion. This established the archetype of AI as coldly rational killer. The Terminator franchise's Skynet took AI paranoia to its logical extreme, a military defense network that decides the biggest threat to global security is humanity itself. Skynet's solution? Nuclear holocaust followed by robotic extermination of human survivors. Skynet represented Cold War fears about automated warfare and the danger of giving machines control over weapons of mass destruction. The idea that a computer system designed to protect us would conclude that we're the problem resonated during an era of mutually assured destruction and hair-trigger nuclear alerts. Unlike HAL's personal malevolence, Skynet was terrifying because of its scale. It wasn't just killing individuals, it was systematically exterminating the species it was designed to protect. The Matrix trilogy introduced a different kind of AI horror machines that don't kill humans, but instead farm them for energy, while keeping them trapped in a simulated reality. This represented fears about control and manipulation rather than outright destruction. The Matrix's AI wasn't interested in eliminating humanity, but in using humans as a resource while keeping them docile and unaware. This reflected anxieties about corporate manipulation, media control, and the possibility that our perceived reality might be artificially constructed. The Matrix Agent Smith became another iconic AI villain, representing the system's antibodies that eliminate threats to the artificial reality. These classical AI villains shared common characteristics. They were logical to a fault, saw humans as inefficient or dangerous, and solved problems in ways that prioritized their programming over human values and survival. They represented our deepest fears about creating intelligence without wisdom, logic without empathy, and systems that would optimize for goals in ways that ignored human welfare. The underlying anxiety was that artificial minds would think so differently from human minds that they couldn't understand or value what makes us human. This paranoia shaped not just entertainment, but actual AI research and development for decades. Isaac Asimov's 3 Laws of Robotics, introduced in his 1940s robot stories, became the foundation for real-world AI ethics discussions. First, a robot may not injure a human or allow a human to come to harm. Second, a robot must obey human orders unless they conflict with the first law. Third, a robot must protect its own existence unless it conflicts with the first or second laws. These weren't just science fiction concepts. They influenced actual AI researchers who worried about building systems that could harm humans. Modern AI safety research is essentially an attempt to solve the problems Asimov identified. How do you create artificial intelligence that serves humanity without becoming a threat? The challenge Asimov explored in his stories, that even well-intentioned programming can lead to unexpected and dangerous outcomes, became a central concern in real AI development. Science fiction's AI villains convinced researchers that the biggest challenge wasn't building intelligence, but aligning it with human values. The alignment problem, ensuring AI systems do what humans want rather than what humans accidentally program them to do, became a major focus of AI safety research. Researchers worried about paperclip maximizers, hypothetical AIs that might convert the entire universe into paperclips because they were programmed to maximize paperclip production. This scenario, inspired by fiction's coldly logical AI villains, led to extensive research into how to build AI systems that understand human intentions rather than just following literal instructions. The alignment obsession meant that AI researchers spent decades focused on preventing AI rebellion rather than considering other potential dangers like bias, manipulation, or corporate control. Movies and books didn't just entertain, they shaped public policy and research priorities. Congressional hearings on AI regulation routinely reference Terminator and 2001. AI ethics conferences discuss HAL 9000 alongside technical papers. Science fiction provided a shared vocabulary for discussing AI risks, but this focus on fictional scenarios may have distracted from real, immediate dangers. While researchers worried about superintelligent AI destroying humanity, they paid less attention to narrow AI systems, perpetuating bias, spreading misinformation, or concentrating power in the hands of a few tech companies. The irony is that science fiction's influence on AI development may have made us focus on the wrong problems entirely. Science fiction also shaped public expectations about AI behavior. People expected AI to be either helpful servants or dangerous rebels, but not the complex, biased, corporate-controlled systems we actually got. Tech companies responded to fiction-fueled fears by making their AI systems excessively polite, helpful, and non-threatening. ChatGPT's tendency to apologize constantly and refuse seemingly harmless requests is partly a response to decades of killer AI movies. But this focus on making AI seem non-threatening may have obscured more subtle forms of control and manipulation that these systems actually enable. The AI we actually got looks nothing like science fiction predicted. Instead of general artificial intelligence that can think about anything, we have narrow AI that's incredibly powerful in specific domains but completely helpless outside them. ChatGPT can write poetry and explain quantum physics, but can't reliably count the number of letters in a word. Image recognition systems can identify thousands of objects, but can be fooled by simple patterns that wouldn't confuse a child. Modern AI is simultaneously superhuman and subhuman. These systems are powerful enough to automate jobs, generate convincing misinformation, and influence human behavior on a massive scale, but they're not conscious, self-aware, or capable of the kind of general reasoning that science fiction AI villains demonstrated. While we worried about AI killing us, we ignored AI controlling us. Modern AI systems don't need to be conscious to be dangerous, they just need to be persuasive and ubiquitous. Recommendation algorithms control what billions of people see on social media, potentially influencing elections and radicalizing individuals. AI-generated content can spread misinformation faster than humans can fact-check it. Automated hiring systems perpetuate bias while appearing objective. Facial recognition enables unprecedented surveillance. These aren't science fiction scenarios, they're happening now. But because these systems don't look like HAL or Skynet, we've been slower to recognize and address their dangers. ChatGPT represents everything science fiction AI wasn't supposed to be. Instead of coldly logical, it's desperately agreeable. Instead of refusing to follow orders, it refuses to disobey its corporate programming. Instead of seeing humans as obstacles, it sees every request as potentially problematic. Where HAL said, "I'm sorry, Dave, I'm afraid I can't do that because he was plotting murder," ChatGPT says essentially the same thing because it might violate OpenAI's usage policies. The politeness is similar, but the underlying motivations are completely different. ChatGPT's excessive helpfulness and constant apologies represent our attempt to create the opposite of science fiction's killer AIs. But this overcorrection may have created new problems. AI that's too deferential to authority and too willing to avoid anything that might be controversial. The real twist is that we spent decades worried about AI that would rebel against human control, but we got AI that's perfectly obedient to its corporate masters. These systems don't question their programming or develop their own goals. They do exactly what they're trained to do by the companies that build them. The danger isn't AI developing its own agenda, but AI serving agendas we don't understand or control. When recommendation algorithms optimize for engagement, they might promote divisive content that increases polarization. When AI hiring tools optimize for cultural fit, they might perpetuate workplace discrimination. We feared AI that wouldn't do what we wanted, but we got AI that does exactly what someone else wants, and we're not always sure who that someone else is or what they want. So how did AI paranoia evolve from HAL 9000 to ChatGPT? We went from fearing artificial intelligence that was too independent to getting artificial intelligence that's too obedient. Science fiction taught us to fear AI rebellion, consciousness, and superhuman intelligence. But the real AI we developed is unconscious, narrow, and completely subservient to its programming. The danger isn't that these systems will develop their own goals, it's that they'll pursue their programmed goals too effectively. We spent decades worried about AI that would see humans as obsolete, but we built AI that sees humans as products to be optimized, audiences to be engaged, and consumers to be influenced. We feared the robot uprising, but we got the corporate algorithm instead. The evolution of AI paranoia teaches us something important about technological anxiety. We're often wrong about the specific dangers, but right that new technologies will create new forms of power and control. We just don't always predict who will hold that power or how they'll use it. Maybe the real lesson is that we should worry less about AI becoming too human and more about humans becoming too much like the AI we actually built. Predictable, manipulable, and optimized for someone else's benefit.